Hiya, so this is Chris from Trident Fitness, along with our very own Joey G from Trident Fitness, with one of Joe's long-term clients, Chris Booth. We've got Chris here today. We want to have a bit of a chat with him about his relationship with Joe, in whatever way you want to take that. But actually a little bit about how they came to work together, their journey, and I guess and where they're at now. So, Chris, how did you come across Mr. Joe Gledhill?
I think it was on Facebook with me and Beth, who's my wife, had been going to the council gym for a while, and we'd not really seen the results that we wanted to. We were feeling a bit fitter, but weren't really getting that traction what we wanted to in fitness. So we decided to try and find a PT in the local area, and we just stuck it on like the Morley local group. And out of like the 15 responses, I think 14 of them was Joe, and then there was this other lad who had like one recommendation. I was like, well, I don't even really need to call that other one, do I? So we got chatting on Facebook, didn't we? And then and then just came in for like an assessment, didn't we? And started a weekly session from there. So
what made you initially look for a local PT?
I think it was that we just wanted to kind of go into the gym to that kind of next level, really. At the time, Beth didn't know, but I was planning on proposing, and I knew that there was going to be a wedding at some point, so I knew that I needed to shed it. Yeah, anyway, yeah. And I knew that I needed to shed a bit of weight, maybe put on a bit of muscle. And when we'd been going to the council gym and a couple of the places, I just wasn't seeing that traction, or wasn't getting that right guidance. And as much as we'd go on to websites, so you'd see things on Facebook and Insta, we'd try things, but we wouldn't know if they were working or not.
And it's quite cardio based as well, wasn't it?
Really cardio based. And we did a lot of Joe Wick stuff, and the only thing that we really saw
Joe
was
who, sorry?
Joe Wick, if you've heard of him. But we felt like we were just getting a little bit fitter, so that the workouts would become really easy, but we wouldn't see the difference in the mirror or on the scales or anything like that. So we just wanted that person who could kind of guide us through all the white noise that's on the internet and kind of help us fit those goals and what's realistic and what good looks like, that kind of thing. And that's what we got.
So when you came to working with Joe, did you have any specific goals? Obviously you knew about you were going to propose, and hopefully she was going to say yeah. But was there a deadline in sight? Was there a catalyst that sort of made you go look for somebody at that point?
I think it was just because we got to that point where we were really enjoying it, and we were happy to make that extra investment, if you like. We were paying so much for the gym, and we'd go every morning, but we just wanted to go for that little bit more. So I think it was probably because we were just enjoying things a little bit, and we wanted to see that extra kind of piece. So there probably wasn't a specific catalyst. I think it was kind of a nice natural progression into it.
What were your first thoughts when you met Chris and Beth?
It were brilliant, really, because they were kind of doing so much right. So they had the right sort of leverage in regards, because I don't like the word motivation. Everything was kind of leveraged towards that goal. So you were already looking a little bit at nutrition, and they asked the right questions. It wasn't just sort of like, we need a PT. How cheap are you? Kind of, which is unfortunately what you get in the industry. You get a lot of people buying on price. You get a lot of people. The initial conversation was all results focused, which sits with me brilliantly, because unfortunately, I don't sign up everybody I sit down with, but there was just like an instant thing. It was just a good fit, wasn't it? It was just a really, really good fit, and everything just went swimming, and you were just really they were interested in the strength element.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, this is definitely what we want to do. Can you do it? It was like, look, we've read this, we've seen this. What do you suggest? And it were easy. It were really, really easy to get ball moving with it.
Yeah, and it was easy for us to kind of give that responsibility away. Beth's much more into her fitness than I am, and she's been into it a lot longer, and she reads a lot about it. She's watched Game Changers on the docu-film series and that kind of thing, and even she kind of she can quite easily feel overwhelmed with the amount of information that's out there. So for us to kind of say, look, this is kind of what we want. We want to roughly be here with our weight, and we want to look roughly like this. What do we do? We know that we need to make some lifestyle changes, but just guide us through that path. And that was the good thing, just being able to give a little bit of that responsibility away around the knowledge, and we'll just do the commitment side. And that's what kind of worked for us, that we could rely on that knowledge.
the commitment thing's something though that it's got to be realistic, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can put into Google is, I want to be fit, and it says, well, quit beating pizza, never have a beer, live like a saint for the rest of your life. And I think you and I both know that's not how you want to live your life, is it?
No, and it's like, I've never committed to having a six-pack. I learned very early on in life that I'm not going to be one of the lucky ones with a six-pack, but I know that, I can get an all right look on my shoulders and on my arms, and my legs somehow are now massive. It's just that like middle section between my shoulders and my hips, but my commitment level, I'm happy with it. I'm not too bothered about having a six-pack as long as I can go into the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I can have a couple of beers on the weekend. That for me is a healthy lifestyle, whether I've got even though I don't have a six-pack. So it is that I'm happy with those commitment levels that we can put in.
That's the hardest thing as a coach, having that conversation, because kind of everyone does sit down and be like, yeah, I want to be ripped.
Yeah.
I just want to have that six-pack.
I want to be Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
But it's that level of sacrifice, and it's the hardest thing is, and the thing I kind of look for in all my clients is very, very early on, I'm like, right, well, this is the level of sacrifice to get that goal. How about let's just see where we get to like this. And then if you're happy to take that next stage, if you're happy to drop that many calories again and add in this extra workout or add in this extra, and it's like you get to a point where you think, well, do you know what? No, I look mint. And like straight away, like you did both react really, really quickly. Like your backs, I mean, I know you mentioned like your legs and stuff, but like Beth's back and your back, just instantly, like the musculature that came through, it were quite quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Beth's obviously a lot leaner than I am, but I've never really had any real lean part of my body until we started stripping out, some calories and training consistently 3 or 4 times a day. And it wasn't until, the thing I always point out is my calves.
Yeah.
And it's, I've not had that before. I've not had like lean muscle, where you can actually see things come through. And I'm starting to get it on my shoulders and my legs and on my back, and it is good to see. It is really motivating, and it gives you the tools that that if you wanted to give that extra 10, 20, maybe 30%, you could go for the abs and everything else with it. But
do you want to? Yeah,
and you've given us the tools, but it's just down to us whether we want to go down that path.
So Chris, if there was something you could say to someone that's out there that's looking for help with the training, try to stay away from Google, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to start with where they want to be, and don't kind of put it as like an end game, which then you can fob off down the line. Think about what you want your healthy lifestyle to look like. Is it you want to be going to the gym 4 times a week? If you put in, I want to be 11 stone and ripped head to toe, then you'll hit that, and then you'll drop it off because you've hit it, and then you feel like you've had to slave for it for 6 months. Instead, try and think about what your goal lifestyle is. You'll soon find out what you will look like in that lifestyle, and if you need to make those changes later, you can do. Obvious, well, get help. If you try going to the gym and you're not seeing those results, get a PT for a section of time, just for that bit of guidance. Get those tools. You do it in any other part of your life. You want to get work done in your house, you get a specialist in. You want to do something in your business, you get a specialist in. Do it the same with a gym. Go out there, speak to someone who's in that industry, find that plan.
And make sure they're a good fit. It's really important that they're a good fit.
Yeah. Like, I don't want someone who's going to scream at me and motivate me. I'm motivated enough, and I don't like it when someone's saying I'm not motivated to get any more reps out. That's why it's a good fit for us. Whereas if we'd gone with someone who wants to just try and make me sick, it wouldn't work. So yeah, finding that right fit is huge.
How many fallouts did you have with Beth finally while you were training?
While we were training, not that many. That's where we don't fall out. It's everything else.
It's afterwards,
the wedding, everything.
Cool.
Brilliant.
Thank you
Cheers
very much.
for that.
No worries.
Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.